Hello, SCWRM comms. I want to play a game with you. Sorry, I kind of had to, get it
Yeah,
out
no,
there
no,
because
no,
it
no,
was sad.
no, go ahead, go ahead.
Still, I can't think of a clever tagline like Graves thought for, the Mission Impossible movies. Maybe we'll get it for the next couple of movies, who knows. This is still 2004's James Wan surprising hit, Saw. Starting as an independent movie project that he did with, I forgot the name of his, partner in crime for this.
Lee Wanell.
Lee Wanell, there you go. It was essentially a love letter to what a story that they wanted to create, and it originated as a short, but then eventually they managed to build it up to make an entire full movie, which then eventually got acquired in terms of rights to Lionsgate, and they started to make it a proper franchise out of it, complete with the tagline of "If it's Halloween, it must be Saw." It became dormant after the 3D Saw 3D, which is garbage, or probably the lowest point of the entire series. But recently, Lionsgate started to making new movies out of it, with the varying success depending on your point of view. Arguably, still better than Saw 3D, complete with a 10th movie that is supposed to come out by the time we're recording this. But we're here to look at the first movie. Now, audience, there is a bit of a problem because there have been a couple of different cuts. If you have the German director's cut or the unrated US director's cut. This is using for comparison the Netflix version of Netflix from the UK. So we have really no idea how too much of a difference that is. It's worth noting that the biggest difference that you see is basically a filter or a lack thereof. There are one or two extra scenes that are less than a couple of seconds, but otherwise the movie should roughly be the same. In order to make things properly, as secure as possible, we tried to skip all of our logos, and instead we suggest that you use as a starting point the start of a movie that is a blue set of words that says a twisted production, twisted pictures production.
Yeah.
So start before that. So let's begin in 3, 2, 1, click. So yeah, I have a bit of a history with this franchise. I bothered to see for myself, not for myself, but with a couple of friends across the 2000s, and it was okay, nothing too special to me, but it was interesting to say the least. And hey, put James Wan name on the career. This is a franchise, however, that requires a lot of attention, and there's a lot of, torture porn. Not starting with this, but more starting with the second. But again, there's gonna be a lot of blood in this, to say the least.
Sure.
Again, it also requires to pay attention because it prides itself on having a gajillion plot twists. So we start in the dark with a guy in a bathtub. Whoa.
Be careful, Freddy Krueger might be around the corner.
I do hate it when that happens. Having a nice day and you wake up in a bath. And yes, there's one thing I'm looking forward to. Seeing an Australian try to play an American.
Yeah, let's get. While there are gonna be a couple of other actors, mostly the action will be focused on this guy, Lee Wanell, and the other that is in the room, which will be revealed in a second.
So we got the writer playing the main character.
Also, Dwebs, isn't that what Hugh Jackman usually does in his movies?
What, write films? No.
No, I mean play American characters.
Wolverine's Canadian.
Hey,
Well, okay, remind me too.
it still stands, Dweebs.
Okay, he's North American. Like the point is, he's not Australian.
Yeah, an Australian that tries to do a North American English accent.
Yeah.
Hey, that's Carrie Elwes.
Hey, Carrie.
Up until this point, he was mostly famous just for The Princess Bride, and this is the other big franchise.
That and Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
There's someone.
Oh.
Whoa.
Okay, so now I know. Okay, so well, I guess to be fair, maybe I can't quite say that Indigo Prophecy ripped this opening off, but
Potentially, I wouldn't be too surprised if
I mean-
Cage was a fan of this.
I mean, Fahrenheit came out a year after this, so maybe there wasn't time, maybe there was. It depends.
Speculation. So yeah, most of the action is gonna be about these two guys. It showcased the fact that this originally was a short because again it's focused on a small room with two people and it's more about mind games and talking more than a lot of action.
Mm-hmm.
And also a British guy playing an American.
Nice to meet you, very much.
Yeah, nice to meet you, Mr. Very Fucking Confused.
But yeah, Carrie always plays a guy called Dr. Lawrence Gordon.
I'm a surgeon. Oh, sorry, wrong character.
Yeah, no go.
I know his name. Dead guy.
Maybe this is Deadman from the DC universe.
No,
the
no,
color
no.
scheme.
It's D Man from Ace Attorney.
So yeah, the budget of this was between $1 and $1.2 million, and of course they're hoping at the box office was 103.9, so obviously a huge success.
I mean, yeah, it costs barely anything to make.
Again, the effects being used are actually still pretty solid, even for the time they were made. This was made.
I guess they saved a lot of money by just having the writer play the main character.
Yeah, that's actually a tactic to use. Let me see what Lee Whannell actually has done in terms of acting after.
He was in The Matrix 2.
I forgot what character.
One of those guys that gets killed by the Sentinels.
Okay.
So an extra, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I was in. Okay,
I think he was that guy who tried to warn them about an incoming Sentinel attack, but the bridge broke and he fell.
There we go.
Well, hopefully this will be a step up.
Oh, right! He was a voice actor in Legend of the Guardians, The House of Gahul. I forgot about that. Also,
Well, I
he was
mean,
in
wasn't that
the
made in
Insidious
Australia?
series. Also, he was a cameo in the Aquaman movie. Logical, considering
so-
that was directed by James Wan.
So both him and James Wan are buddies.
Makes sense. If I recall correctly, they did mention they went to college together or something.
Okay then.
Wonder if that was filmed in Australia, because since he and James Wan are Australian.
Let me check. Mostly Los Angeles, in the Lacey Street production facility. Oh, there's something written there. Like a note. Oh, a big micro cassette tape. Yeah, early 2000 was still the time where these things were still, a bit in. So CDs were have not completely taken over yet. Hey, Dr. Gordon has also one for him. Again, a bit of a Wonderland inspired, even in the tactics of this, mastermind. Which, by the way, apparently in my country, I know this, but in my country, the movie has a subtitle. It's still called Saw in the English, also a bullet. But in my country, it's called Saw, and the subtitle is The Riddler, basically.
Hey.
Because these guys specialize in riddles. Sorry, Doctor, that doesn't work.
Well, can't blame him for trying.
Maybe it works for him, huh? Yeet! Nope, Not either. The score is also very subdued for the most part. It's done by a guy called Charlie Clouser. Or
I
Closer, I
think
forgot.
he did the music, I think, for all the movies.
Mm-hmm. He has worked with people like Nine Inch Nails, Marilyn Manson, and Rob Zombie. Aside from this series, he has been the mainstay composer for this, even for the new ones. He did the scores for stuff like Unhuman, American Horror Story, and Wayward Pines. You can do it. As you can imagine, because the actors were physically chained there, a lot of these acts, in order to get something, had to essentially, properly be improvised on the spot. So there's a bit of a genuinity in what they can do.
James Wan being a bit like Christopher Nolan. I'm actually going to chain these guys to the pipe throughout the whole of production. I'm not going to let them go even for breaks. They're going to stay there the whole time.
God damn it.
Well, I mean, it didn't take long to make the movie at all. It only took 18 days to shoot the whole thing.
Again, it makes sense, a small budget and everything. Alright, let's get the Walkman. Now that takes me back. Yes, kids, listening to cassette tapes back then on the go was kind of a novelty. That voice is from an actor which we'll see later. Huh. Well.
Damn.
Yeah, let's try the Dr. Gordon's cassette. What? Seriously? Fine.
So is most of the and I'm not trying to complain about this because that would be cool if that was the case. Like, is this going to be like most of the movie at the very least? Them stuck in this room, because I like that.
There will be a couple of scenes that showcase characters trying to get to them, or something that happens otherwise. But yes, these characters will be stuck in this room for like at least 70% of the movie.
Yeah, I like that. As Dwebs already knows, I like when you boil down to a simple one single setting with just one, or in this case, two actors carrying the whole thing.
Dr. Gordon is roughly 7.5 hours to kill Adam, apparently. Oh. Whoever recorded this was not feeling well.
It was me. Shit.
Think of this as a game.
Yeah, I recorded this. Fuck. I've got a sore throat and everything.
Oh. But who are those two? Fun. So... yeah. Oh, good catch. Who could that be? Follow your heart, huh? gonna be alright. I don't know. Oh. Again, whoever architected this particular room loves to play games around, so...
Jigsaw, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You will get to meet him soon enough. Oh, joy.
Beautiful.
Fun fact, one of my cousins got pranked with a game similar to this at his wedding. That was not pretty.
Oh god, that's terrible. Like,
I know, right?
friend, huh?
Just... Again, my mother's family tends to be very quirky like that, for better or worse. Yeah, probably you should. See what's inside. It's a pair of Saw. How appropriate.
And that's how they came up with the name.
It's more of an abbreviation of Jigsaw, which is a representation of puzzle, so... Yeah, in the meantime.
This is basically what would have happened if Layton had become a horrible horror movie villain.
Yeah, I was going to say...
The natural conclusion to Dick Layton.
Yes,
Imagine
this is
if
the
it's
ultimate
Layton,
final conclusion in Dick Layton's character arc.
Yeah. Leighton just went nuts. Leighton couldn't handle not having fame anymore, so he went nuts. And before anyone asks, well then what's with Leighton's what's with the new Leighton in the New World of Steam game? That's not Dick Layton. That's his brother.
But yeah, unfortunately the saws are not really used. Also, fun fact, I don't know how for many other countries could be, but if you notice the motion, precisely because of that, the proper word saw in my country, its translation, is a slang also synonymous for masturbation.
Anyway.
Moving on. Yeah, Dr. Gordon is having an idea. Again, this is becoming essentially one of the more iconic moments of the entire franchise. The idea that these games are not just your typical, escape room puzzles, but involve, some kind of self-harm that you have to commit to yourself if you want to leave. Also, another staple of this franchise, very weird transitions. Get used to this. Pay attention to the cop on the left, because he's gonna be slightly important for the rest of the movie.
What, Danny Glover?
Mm-hmm. His character is called Detective David Tapp.
Is this what he did after Lethal Weapon?
I think so. I forgot when the last Lethal Weapon was done.
1998.
Well, this was a bit after, so I'm pretty sure he did something in the meantime. Check.
Okay, this is going to be a new challenge. I literally just had my tea,
Yeah, with this is a pro tip. Again,
had,
it gets worse in the following movies, so whenever we will do those, pro tip, do not eat before or in the meantime. Again, apparently Jigsaw operates on the idea of preying over people's, darker sides. If they want to live, survive these traps, they just simply sometimes have to do nothing, or just do commit sentient sacrifice like cutting your feet off, but if you live. But because of potential insecurities or falling prey to their dark side, they eventually get killed because of the traps. And then he cuts off the teacher jigsaw piece from the skin of the victims. What surprisingly enough, this is not really the most important bit for all of the movies, but it's probably the most consistent thing about them. Even new movies, it's something that happens.
Yeah, it's like, no, I didn't kill anyone. They all died.
Trust me, we'll get to that, because trying to analyze the psychology of Jigsaw and his motivations is a can of worms on its own. Ouch. I can't believe, however, the corridor, not corridor, but the air vent filled with broken bottles from Heavy Rain was inspired a bit by this. And unfortunately got carbonized. Cool, I guess. Anyway, to mention to you, Dibs, between Lethal Weapon 4 and this, Danny Glover was in Ants, and The Prince of Egypt the same year. It was busy with DreamWorks. And also a movie called, also a movie called 3 AM and The Royal Tenenbaums.
Oh, I'm Michael Emerson.
Yeah, it's Michael Emerson, who would go on to be in Person of Interest, but here he's playing a guy named...
he also played the Joker in the Batman Dark Knight Returns animated duology.
Another fun fact. Yeah, that guy who died going through that maze of razor wire.
Mm-hmm.
He was played by Mike Butters, who was that guy out of that Pepsi Man game, the one who kept drinking all the Pepsi.
Huh. Also, just to mention, Michael Emerson is more of a TV actor than movie, because The Dark Knight Returns duology was the last major movie career he's credited for.
Mm-hmm.
But other than Prince of History, he's mostly been also in Lost.
Yeah, because J.J. Abrams too, because Person of Interest was also a J.J. Abrams production.
Mm-hmm. Also, he's gonna be Brainiac in My Adventures with Superman. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, one other thing that unfortunately is a bit of a sin for this franchise, an over-reliance on flashbacks to establish the point. Instead of proceeding through in proper order, our time will be in the action, and then we will have flashbacks to tell us how characters have been there. But as the movies progress, piecing together the timeline becomes a bit convoluted on its own. I forgot in which movie, but someone did mention about Saw 3, and I did mention that the first trilogy is probably the safest of the franchise. And I still kind of reiterate to that. I think only 3D is really the bottom of the barrel. But starting with 4, 5, and 6, things become almost a soap opera level of complicated. Yeah, I want to mention who? Looks like Dr. Gordon had an extramarital relationship.
Is that him at a Catwoman?
No, it's not Benjamin Bratt. but
Which is code for fucking do it or you're fired.
This guy looks like a somewhat discount Aaron Eckhart.
That's Ken Leung. Playing Detective Stephen Singh.
aside
He's
from a
very
couple
known
of
for
people,
being-
gone.
He was in Lost. And he was also in Rush Hour.
Also, this particular victim will be important. Shawnee Smith as Amanda. You will actually see her a lot of times, actually. But funny enough, aside from a couple of characters, which there you go, the iconic jigsaw trap, the bear trap, essentially a device that's strapped onto your head and also has a couple of particular iron bars connected to your mandible and your mandibles. When the trap actually activates, it will just spring and literally rip your face out by killing you almost instantly. But it's believe it or not, it's gonna take a bit before actually seeing it in action. And there's also the other iconic thing: Jigsaw operates using this guy, Billy the Puppet.
So I guess J.J. Abrams saw this movie and cast some actors from here in that show.
Probably. It's
But
funny.
he was also in Lost. He was also in Lost.
It's funny because a lot of parodies of Saw that happened later on, spoofs, parodies, stuff like, Scary Movie 3, for example, always took the idea out of Saw only as Billy the Puppet doing things when it's really just a stand-in for Jigsaw explaining. Almost like they completely did not understand what was the point of a franchise. I know that it's a staple for Salzburg Productions, but still.
It's kind of like how Mortal Kombat, every time someone wants to do a Mortal Kombat spoof or skit, they just spoof the fatalities and nothing else. Like it's that one big thing that everybody knows about the franchise, so they know that that's what's going to get a reaction out of people.
I think Dorkley got one of the better jokes out of that with having, Johnny Cage realizing that he has to fight Raiden as in a little gun and he literally fires his agent because of that.
I don't know what's going to make me throw up more. The traps or the camera work.
The editing is also a staple of the weird editing is a staple of the series, unfortunately. I don't know if it's the same overall.
Oh!
Yeah.
My head's spinning!
What a wild ride.
James Wan really wants you to notice his directing dubs.
Oh, it gets even better.
I noticed it in Fast 10, thank you very much.
This is technically...
Fast 7.
The editor is going to be the same for the entire series, Kevin Gröter, but then he gets better dibs. He's going to also be the director of Saw 6, 3D, which is a 7 movie, and the Saw X, which is supposed to come out this year.
So Can we watch all these movies before Saw X comes out?
We'll have to see if it's capable. It depends on the circumstances, Dibs.
Wait a minute. Jigsaw said he was dead.
Unfortunately, he's not. So, Amanda, are you willing to kill? To save your own life?
Yeah, well, she didn't know he wasn't dead. Okay, I've actually seen the short film that they made a year before this one. It was actually set in Australia, and it was basically a brutal police interrogator talking to Lee Wanell, speaking in his native accent, and it was basically telling the story of how he escaped the Venus flytrap.
Mm-hmm.
And the cop was brutal, saying, "You could open someone that was still breathing."
Come on, come on.
There we are.
There we go. If you're wondering, like I said, yes, we will actually see one of these function properly in one future movies, but it's gonna take a while.
Sorry, just give me a second. It's taking me a while.
So what are you, 7?
Yeah. I didn't find this scary in Leprechaun. I don't find it scary here.
I don't think it's even supposed to be. Again, this is more of a thriller series than horror.
I guess.
You can compare, I guess, to a slasher, sure, but it's more psychological rather than, disturbing.
All right. So now, make sure you stay grateful for being alive from this point on. Okay. Okay. You can go then.
I like being alive. I like being alive.
Very
Basically.
good. Very good. Now, don't make me drag you in here again. Yeah, are you grateful, Mandy?
What?
You see, Dick Clayton is just helping people.
It's helping them appreciate life, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, dear Dick Clayton had a revelation after he finished making the Layton games. He decided, you know what?
The
I've come
fuck
to
is this
realize.
transition? You're not Star Wars.
I've come to realize that people are not grateful for their lives.
Because we don't solve enough puzzles.
So I'm just gonna kill, or not kill them. I'm gonna have people be killed who don't appreciate the gift of life.
If you want to leave this bathroom, you need to have solved at least 75 puzzles. What's this? You've only solved 40. Well, I guess you're stuck. I guess you're stuck with here.
guys. I figured out what happened to Emmy.
Oh,
Why she hasn't shown up since the prequels.
well, we know why, but go on.
She was caught in a jigsaw trap made by Dick Clayton, and she died.
Oh, hold on. Since that Adam has noticed something.
It's so obvious now.
Time to break it. Yeet!
Wait. Some sick pricks filming
It's 7
us.
years of bad luck, Adam.
Reality TV.
Wow, the new edition of Big Brother is really hardcore.
Damn, the ITV have got a lot to live up to with their upcoming reboot of the series this year. But yeah, I can see why Lee Whannell's acting got some criticism.
Again, this was more of a passion project more than a proper AAA production.
Mhm.
I mean, I get the budgetary reasons, but you can still critique the acting in spite of that.
Oh, sure. James Wan is probably one of those directors who prefers.
Fine writer.
Yeah, James Wan probably prefers to work with his buddies.
Yeah, I mean, I'm positive he's a fine writer. As an actor, though, at least from this movie.
Actually, let me check what else has he wrote aside from these.
Did he write anything for the Aquaman movie, or was that entirely just
I think
directed?
it was just a cameo.
I think Lee Whannell did.
He did the
like The
2020's
Conjuring.
Invisible Man. That.
Okay, then.
I think he did The Conjuring, or was that? No, that was just James Wan.
He wrote for Insidious, the first Insidious, because
Yeah,
that was also
Insidious, that
James
was
Wan.
Yeah.
Also, Dead Silence. The 2014 movie is called Cooties, which I think is a parody horror movie, starring Elijah Wood and other people. Also, a movie called The Mule, which I actually don't know anything about. And mostly has been an executive producer for all the other Saw movies.
Okay.
Okay.
Of course, we have a little girl.
Children are always effective in order to create tension.
Just ask Stephen King.
But she's not psychic, Pedro. I don't think there was a child character in I forgot the name. The movie with the werecats, I forgot its name, which has a shitload of cameos.
Oh boy, it's one of those child actors, isn't she?
Let me check.
One of those that talks completely without emotion for no reason.
Mackenzie Vega. Alexa Vega's sister.
This was actually one of the first things she did, but she apparently was in X-Men: The Last Stand as an extra. Oof. She's been mostly a TV actress ever since. Oh, great! She was in 2 episodes of 13 Reasons Why. Ugh.
There's no such thing as the bad man.
Like, can you just say the boogeyman?
Yeah, like
Copyrighted.
I mean, Batman is literally very vague. I'm pretty sure there's plenty of people that can fit the Batman description.
Also, darling, can you please stop calling me Robin Hood? I mean, do I look anything like the guy? Yes.
Pager. Now, so that takes me back. In case you don't know, kids, pagers were devices that, again, since telephones and even cell phones were still primitive this way, pagers were devices, especially that doctors would use in hospitals in order to get like an emergency call. As in, think of it the quantity of characters of a generic tweet and says, "Go this place now because of emergency." So they will immediately respond to again in a case of emergency.
Yeah, we saw that in the Doctor House TV series. You see, there's Carol's career is only mostly dead. There's a difference between all dead and mostly dead. Please open his mouth.
Well, I mean, I think Carrie Elwes is going to be in the new Mission Impossible.
Also, something else, we did mention it recently. Let me see. It is true that around the point of one of the later Saw movies, he himself admitted he was mostly known just for either The Princess Bride or this. At least that's what he himself told. Well, he was in Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Series.
Apparently, he was a cameo in The Adventures of Tintin, The Secret of the Unicorn. I didn't even notice him.
Well, that movie's so goddamn boring, I don't blame you.
There you go, he's gonna be in the Knuckles TV series.
Oh, there you go then.
Well, we don't know his role yet.
Considering he wasn't announced in the recent batch of announcements, he's probably going to be a minor character.
Maybe an operative of gun, who knows?
Yeah, probably.
Also, damn, the budget for this was so low. They didn't have any chairs on set.
Give it back.
And the entire film was done with David Armstrong, the cinematographer, shooting it with the camera over his shoulder the whole time. They would not talk about this later.
I feel like I've seen this actress somewhere. I don't.
The wife, Monica Potter. Let me see. Oh God! No, please don't tell me she was her.
What?
Oh, she was the love interest in Patch Adam.
Oh God.
Man.
Yeah. Poor lady.
Well, her career was not killed by that, at least, but she has been mostly a TV actress
Mm-hmm.
as well, ever since the mid 2010s.
All right.
Oh man. Hook has come to get you.
I hate Peter Pan.
Damn. That's quite sadistic. Ugh. Oh well. Oh. Whoa. Again, it seems that Detective Tapp is a bit obsessed with the case of Jigsaw. What the fuck is this transition? Well, that was a productive conversation. Ugh. Okay, what was that? Is that a threat or implication? Again with these weird transitions.
Have I missed anything?
Detective Tapp seems relatively obsessed with solving the case of Jigsaw. This will get his conclusion, but not in the way you might expect. We'll mention more later.
As for the whole budget thing, Dwebs, that guy from over here, who's basically my country's John Cleese, he actually was asked once in an interview, what's it like to work with, tight restrictions and budget and shit like that. And he actually said, "Oh, it's great. I love it." And he said, "Budget is for sissies. Give me a little budget to work with. We did the first season of our show basically just a mustache." He says he likes it because he finds it fun and challenging and shit like that. So there you go, dudes. But according to my country's most beloved comedian, budget is for sissies.
Of course.
So yeah, thanks to Detective Tapp's analyzing skill on the tape, we'll be able to potentially find the warehouse where Jigsaw operated for this.
Jigsaw's first real mistake.
Of course.
To promote the movie, to help to get the movie's word out there, Lionsgate actually held a blood drive for the Red Cross in conjunction with the movie, and they collected over 4,200 pints of blood. But the campaign name is interesting.
Go on.
Give till it hurts.
I mean, I guess it's appropriate.
I don't know, linking giving blood to a movie where people, leak blood.
Well, it's again for the special effects. Otherwise, people usually tend to get animal blood from butcheries.
And also, I love how one of the names of the songs on Klaus's soundtrack is "Fuck This Shit."
Does he say "fuck this shit, I'm out"?
No.
It's kind of like that song that's appearing in that Burn Hollywood Burn movie, where he's constantly repeating the words "I don't want to be Michaelowitz."
Yeah, I want to be Michaelowitz. I get the context of it, but I haven't seen that film fully.
For the record, it's not on Disney Plus, despite the fact that it was done on the Buena Vista property.
It wasn't released by Disney round here, Tio.
Oh, maybe it's only on Americans Disney Plus. Okay. Alright, let's see what's on the... Oh, a model of what's actually happening now. The actual bathroom set. Again, that's one thing that the series will do. Sometimes it will actually play a bit with the time, and showcase us events not in the order that you expect. Maybe we will focus... the puppet. Maybe they will focus entirely on situational belief. Oh, this is the present, but then the twist at the end would be no, this was the past. Potentially. It's actually gone to a great effect in the early movies. I would have to say that. Person might be under these. Oh, 2 drills. Let's see who this guy is. Uh-huh, sure you did. Shit. What's in the box? Yeah, there's a bunch of them, fortunately.
Well, this is gonna be a while.
Wow, he's great at improvising big speeches.
Uh-oh. And apparently he had an Assassin's Creed wrist blade?
Yes. Gotta be prepared for any eventuality.
Crazy prepared.
That's kind of the model, Jigsaw. Just when you think he might have, be stopped, apparently he has like 100, backup plans. While it is, at least to me, while it is endearing in the early movies to see him outsmart everyone, it kind of gets tiring on the long run, and you really wish, someone would actually, put him in this place, because especially of his morality, which we'll see soon enough. Also, now the composer is waking up. Got him. Hopefully, we'll be fine. I love how Danny Glover still manages to go through despite having his throat slit. Unfortunately, there's another trap. One of the classic, a tripwire connected to a rifle. And it's too late. Again, aside from a few characters, don't get too attached to the police officer characters. They're basically your cannon fodder.
They're the red shirts. And by red shirts, I mean what their shirts are covered in.
Only a couple of those will stick around for the movies, but even those will eventually die out.
I wonder if the majority of this film's budget went to Danny Glover's salary.
Probably. And that's how the Danny Glover's regret, the fact that he was not able to stop Jigsaw.
And his colleague was killed.
It's kind of a classic type of police story where, you know, the detective wanted to go through the case, but got his partner
killed my partner.
And now it's personal, yeah.
Is this 2004 or 1987?
That was a thing even in, you know, 40s, 50s pulp stories. It's been a very common cliche. So yeah, back with our two main characters, actually. Well, both of you are. Okay. Okay. Try it. There you go. It's not bioluminescence, but instead, you know, proper X. That doesn't really look too much like bioluminescence, but sure, let's go with that. Alright, let's see if there's a Scooby clue behind that. There is another box.
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
It's the Elysian box that Leighton stole from Anton.
But there is a lock. Yeah, the key from before might actually work out. Good catch, I guess. Oh, there is a cell phone and some pieces of paper and a lighter too. Hello, Moto. Are you gonna call Klaus Strike with that? Cigarette?
Sorry, some of these lines are just... Give me that sweet cancer. Yeah, oh, don't worry. The cigarettes are harmless, I promise.
Shh, doctor. What's on this piece of paper? But this gave Dr. Gore an idea. If you forgot, that it will piece together, they did mention apparently that the blood of the person, you know, in the middle of a room is apparently poisonous. That's also how he died, which Making 2+2 would give Dr. Gordon a good idea. So we need to see how Dr. Gordon was kidnapped. Not working. Uh-oh. Looks like someone hitched a ride. Someone in a pig
shit.
mask.
And so the editing kidnapped him.
Alas.
Do you hate it when that happens?
You wouldn't be so tough if you fought in regular motion.
Another cool thing about this is that it's setting up mind games. The viewer is not in the position of believing that either of these characters is really a good guy or which is the protagonist. So one might actually know more information than the other and might try to either gaslight each other, but the viewer doesn't really know and wants to think, like, is Dr. Gordon really, the one that needs to escape and, Adam is just fucking with him? Or is it the contrary? Is Adam actually the victim and Dr. Gordon is being, enforced into killing him? This is a kind of thriller that helps, particularly on a first-time watch, because the viewer is really in the dark about matters. Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Okay, yeah, gee, I wonder which of the two is giving the stronger performance.
But we're gonna get soon enough a bit of weird acting even from him, Dwebs.
Well, yeah, oh yeah, yeah, I'll be honest, yeah, one L's not the strongest actor in the world, but to be fair, there are a couple of other weird bits of acting from everyone else.
And again,
too.
I'm more willing to excuse because this was really just mostly for the passion projects more than anything. They really were not expecting this to blow up the way it did. Yeah, remember, the projectile for the gun might be really superfluous, but the blood is poisonous. Oh, let's see. While he's not looking, let's spike a bit the cigarette with the blood.
Wait a minute, that face looks familiar.
Mm-hmm.
And that hair looks familiar too.
Dr. One was testing something. Yeah. No, he's doing something on purpose. As you noticed, he gave him the one that's not spiked.
I'm acting!
Yeah. Couldn't work out better.
But wait a minute.
Yeah, that's not. You don't want to. You cannot really outsmart a jigsaw like that.
Yeah, stop acting, you're terrible at it.
Totally one L. He does not need to suffer like this.
Yeah, I know. As like I said, his writing's mostly on point. It's just his acting.
It's time for the moment of truth.
Yeah, live or die, make your choice.
Oh. So now it's time to see how Adam got to this place. He has a CD Walkman.
The monster.
I used to have one, I think of the same model.
I did too. Then the iPhone came. Then the iPod came out.
I instead use my PSP as an MP3 player. I know, Maverick stuff. So yeah, Adam was a photographer. And again, kids, this was back when, photos have to be developed like that. And he's the one that photographed Dr. Gordon in his escapades. So it seems that our two characters are more connected than they might be.
Is that penis?
I don't
That he drew on the
so.
door.
I don't think so.
Hope not.
Oh, but the music sounded almost like the movie could have been ended at a moment. Oh, light's not working. Not even the torch. So yeah, in an homage to classic Hitchcock, now the Adam will have to light out the way using the flash of his photographic machine. This is also a good point to mention that this is one of the reasons Shiro is not joining us for this, aside from some particular traps that she mentioned are a bit too squeamish for her. There's a lot of flashing lights, so just put a disclaimer basically at the beginning, say that if you're photosensitive, unfortunately this series is not for you. Alas.
Well, the camera work alone would probably.
Well, not just the editing, again, not just this sequence alone. There are multiple times where there's just intense light. Well, Willy the Puppet showed up here. Well, bash your fucking head in and swear on me mom.
Time's running out, guys.
Brrr. So yeah, both of these guys were kidnapped by people with a pig mask, and now Dr. Gordon is running out of time. But now he's receiving a phone call, and I think this is the moment where Carrie Always Acting dies a bit. Hello? Every little thing is gonna be alright. Diana? Seriously.
You don't do another take? Oh, you can't afford one.
That's the thing with they did some reshoots apparently. Well, but only costed $400, so I don't know.
Yeah,
what they could do now.
Yeah, that's because Lewa Doll was wearing wigs. Oh, he literally had to double for Amanda's actress at one point.
Huh. Hello?
Okay, I get the voice breaking, and then that's meant to show him breaking because of the bad situation.
But it sounds more goofy than that, yeah.
She went in your wait. He's forcing them to watch your name. My God. Wait, how can they watch that in 2004?
Let me see what Makoto Shinkai movie was released in 2000 around that time. Believe his lies.
Also, Carrie, your English accent's breaking through.
Oh, goody. 2004 was the place promised in our early days.
Oh, no.
I still stand on what I said, but I need to find a movie that is technically, not less entertaining at the very least, even in its badness, than Garden of Wars. Yeah, it was Adam, remember, who did all the photos. So again, the viewer has another question, like, how much guilty is Adam, how much guilty is Dr. Gordon? Do any of them deserve to die, and how can either of them, if not both, get out of this one? Adam is specialized in taking photos of, compromising photos of people who cheat on their significant ones. Yeah, they were actually there.
The camera doesn't lie.
They played patty cake. I mean, the Roger Rabbit version. Let me see if this actress is credited. Alexandra Chan. There you go. Born in South Korea, but she's naturalized American. She didn't really do too many things, but she has starred for example, in a movie in 2020 called Tiny Pretty Things. So her career is somehow still going. Correction, Tiny Pretty Things must be a series, I guess. Huh.
I'm not here right now. Please leave a message after the beep. Beep!
Beep. Rude.
Ding ding ding! Hello, Dwips. I know what you're doing. Click.
Yeah, this is actually the prequel to I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I call it I Know Who You Did Last Night.
Yeah, it's one of those bullshit calls where you're like, hey dude, I know what you did. Like, and the other person, what do you mean what I did? Like, let's not play dumb. We both know what you did. Like, you try your best to avoid actually saying it because you know you're full of shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, the informer that commissioned Adam to take the photos is a bit of an anonymous guy. Just has to take the photos and you get paid. Actually, he said that he got paid up front, but...
I just realized something. This is kind of similar to what Shyamalan was trying to do with Devil. In this case, it's just two people stuck in one place, and they eventually get revealed that there's some kind of history
between them.
Yeah.
PJ, Shyamalan didn't direct the movie.
Yeah, but he wrote the story. He was a producer. And
It's like saying that he didn't wrote, Stuart Little 2,
Yeah.
Stuart Little movies, despite the fact
not to
that,
mention this, you could have told me he directed and wrote that, and I would believe you, because even though he didn't, like, it has his fingerprints all over it.
yeah, Detective Tapp is also involved with this.
Hell, even the acting is very Shyamalan-esque.
Who actually made that movie?
Well, again, Tapp was actually eventually discharged as a detective, so he started taking things personally.
He was a director trying his best Shyamalan impression.
John Eric Dowdle, the guy who made As Above, So Below.
Oh, goody.
Well, there you go then.
His dialogue. If you covered yourself in peanut butter and had a 50 hooker gangbang.
Trust me, Dweebs, the dialogue gets so popperish as the series goes on.
And those weren't Lee Winnell writing them.
No. Apparently, again, because they try to get more convoluted and up the stakes of which movie that passes. The 8th and 9th movie instead try to break through, but apparently Saw X is supposed to bring those elements back. We'll see. So yeah, in the meantime, the wife is trying to get free herself. So now what to do? Time is almost up for Dr. Gordon, remember that. But wait a minute. Uh-oh. Seems that Adam has photographed a bit too much, and maybe that's the reason why he ended up in this game.
It was Finch all along, I knew it.
I mean, he is apparently spying on them in a similar way to, the person of interest system.
Oh my god. Pedro, how did Finch turn his life around after this?
Yeah.
Wasn't he also the character in Person of Interest who was also a bit of a broken leg?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's the tech guy.
Okay.
No,
I was asking because, in this movie he doesn't, so maybe that's something that happens here.
Mm-hmm.
But again, even in Person of Interest, he's not exactly above telling Reese to kill people if something really bad happens to those he cares about.
Well, technically, Dwebs. Well, not really, Dwebs. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I mean,
that was that bit near the end of one of the seasons where it was like, oh, by the way, if they try and harm my girlfriend, kill them.
All right, yeah, okay. Okay. To his credit, that was one moment of weakness from him, and considering the circumstances, it's understandable.
So yeah, let's see.
In some shots, he looks like Tommy Oliver from Dino Thunder.
I mean, I love Michael Emerson, so fine by me.
Alright, time for another call in. Once again, like in the Coliseum Pro before, Carrie Elwes' acting is about to drop considerably.
You see, Dwebs, this takes place
Hold on.
Sorry. What? I don't get it. What was that?
Ellie?
Oh, right.
His wife.
Oh, right.
Again, it's the way,
Tio-
as we've noticed, the way his voice cracked because he's supposed to sound distressed and sad at the same time. But the way he actually sounds more confused than anything.
Weird, yeah.
Tio thought he overdid the voice cracking.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Karen Douglas is a good actor, but he's no DiCaprio.
Yeah, not the time you can mention now. Damn it. Oh, that's the cue for Detective Tap to go through.
Again, Carrie, accent mate.
And there you go. That's also, there you go. Again, it's also cool the fact that, Dr. Gordon's wife managed to untie herself in the meantime, giving her a more proactive role.
Okay. You see, this is an alternate continuity where Reese said, "No, I don't want to partner with you to fight crime," and so Finch has to do it on his own.
Yeah, I would love to have seen a Person of Interest Elseworlds episode.
Remind me again, was that done by Warner Bros?
Yes. What happened was the show was actually very successful, but Warner Brothers had a change of management, and
they did not deem it successful enough for them.
I don't think it was even that. I think from what I've heard, apparently it was just that the new executive didn't like the show. Period. And it's just like, what does it mean?
Very unprofessional.
Like as a businessman myself, it just makes me shake my head. Like, who cares if you don't like it? Your customers like it. Like,
it's ironic. It's ironic considering time is a flat circle, and with Warner Bros. It happened the same thing again as soon as Zaslav took over.
I mean, it's part of the reason why Doctor Who fell off in the 80s.
Not just that, I'm pretty confident something similar else happened to another company.
Yeah. I will never understand that kind of mentality, even by executive standards. It's just it literally defies all possible reason. Oh,
yeah, it's getting one thing that Jigsaw can do is electrocute the handcuffs, the feet cuffs. Whoa!
Whoa!
James, stop the crazy thing!
James, stop this crazy thing! That's what happened. Like, he saw that flashback with the editing and passed out. Yeah, this movie ain't really winning any Oscars for best editing.
Let me check. Obviously, it wasn't even nominated for any awards.
I've got that again. Okay, I'm convinced these car chases.
Whoa!
They were filmed. These were definitely filmed with just someone in a stationary car, and they just shake the camera about a bit and put fog over it.
Yeah.
Probably again.
It's okay.
The low production and everything, they wanted to simulate the idea.
It's okay. Fast forward the footage in post. That would disguise it.
Brilliant. God damn it! It's too far.
You're Brilliant, Mr. Wan. Brilliant.
You cracked the code. Again, it's funny.
He's even limping like Finch.
Question, James. In terms of meals and shit, like, do you like rice?
Yeah.
Okay, this would be like if Dwebs came to my place, asked for a dish with rice in it, and I refuse to serve it because I don't like rice. Like, what the fuck does that matter? It's not for me. It's for my customer. It makes no, like, from a business even from a business purely money greedy perspective, it makes literally no sense to act like that.
I mean,
Mind you, in order for situation to work,
if,
it's also a case where your place served rice until you came around.
if
Because
you want
if
thing
the
if the
place
product,
starts immediately not to sell rice anyway for that point, it's something that you can expect. For example, like a ramen only restaurant, you don't go there to ask for sushi.
it'd be wrong one thing if the product wasn't popular, but yeah.
So yeah, now Dr. Gordon has had enough and wants to finally use the saw in the way it was intended. Again, the movie is essentially built up to this moment. Cutting your own foot. Again, this is one of the most, famous parts of the movie that was also parodied, to death. Again, the effect is actually pretty good for the time.
Well, if Neil Breen can make good blood effects, anybody can, really.
Again, I would like to remind you that apparently the guy who made the 2010s version of Frozen apparently could not. I
Yeah.
have no idea why.
When Neil fucking Breen can do a special effect better than you can, it's time to rethink your profession. And I mean, you need to rethink it hard.
I'll need to rewatch the Hatchet movies at some point to see how much they aged or not. So yeah, finally, Detective Tapp has managed to corner Jigsaw in the Jigsaw after all these years.
But
Unfortunate. So yeah, again, I know what you're thinking. Maybe Detective Tapp is dead at this point. If you want to know what happened to him, if I recall correctly, if I recall what happened to him, you have to play the game that Konami licensed. Here's a tip: don't. It's bad. It's really bad. Dark Lord Shadow made a review of both of them. We got a sneak peek at the Konami conference at E3. Just skip those. You don't really need those to know what happened to Tap.
hell, Some Call Me Johnny did a review.
Yeah, right. That was the reveal of the Tails doll enemy back then. God, it passed so much time.
Damn, man. Yeah. I can imagine how that went. You're a horrible actor.
I'm doing a favor to Hollywood.
Yeah.
Great. Now I can have it up all on my own.
The usual joke I like to make regarding the whole "I'm doing you guys a favor" thing would be like if I was super mega rich like Elon Musk or something, I would just buy Quantic Dream specifically for the purpose of firing David Cage, and I will turn to everybody like, "I'm doing you guys a favor. You'll thank me later."
So yeah, at least the family of Dr. Gordon got rescued. Thankfully. So yeah, Dr. Gordon has technically won the game. Hey, there we go. Just in time for the pieces to arrive.
I'll kill you. I'll fucking kill you. And no, I'm not telling what reference is that because that would spoil something for you too.
Oh, look at that! Adam is still alive.
How?
It was only mostly dead. The dweebs. We already made the joke.
We already explained this. Like, there's a difference between mostly dead and all dead. Please open his mouth.
Here's the best thing. He literally beats him with the toilet cover.
Holy crap.
Yeah, that's enough. I will say also they managed to make the makeup effective for Dr. Gordon to simulate the loss of blood.
But yeah, cutting your foot off.
Will make sure you lose a lot of blood, yes. So since he's actually technically free despite, going in a bit of a disadvantage, Dr. Gordon is gonna seek help, leaving unfortunately Adam behind.
You know, every time a movie depicts someone's limb being cut off, I always look at the corresponding limb on my own body and be like, okay, you are staying right there.
We also use camera tricks in order to not properly showcase the fact that, Carrie Elvis has a cut foot here. Again,
Okay.
it's a low-budget production, but it manages to work out. Pretty cool.
Christopher Nolan directed this. I literally cut off his foot.
Well, Dweebs, remember, the trick that a lot of people tend to use is to hire people with already prosthetics or similar in order to make the actual scenes where the limb gets cut the most realistic as possible, without the risk of harming someone. It's actually ingenious when you think about it. Let's see. Oh, another Walkman. Turns out Zepp was not really the mastermind behind this.
Dun, dun,
It was only just a pawn or an agent like many others. And it was also his game because it was poisoned and needed to get free.
I've got to break free. It's the rules.
Mm-hmm.
What is this? A talking cat now? It's the rules.
And here's our twist. That guy that was always being in the center is still alive. And not just that. He only faked his death with the poison blood.
Surprise!
There you go. Meet the real Jigsaw, played by Tobin Bell.
God, this makeup cost me.
And if you paid
$1,000.
attention, that was the first thing we saw. The key that that we could have freed Adam the whole time was in the bathtub, but because of unfortunate events, he got sunk down the drain. Whoops. And yes, Jigsaw was one of the patients of Dr. Gordon as well.
Oops.
This particular piece of music has been a mainstay also it's gonna be a mainstay for the rest of the series. Jesus.
I need to squeeze as much as I can in the 1 hour and 40 minutes, so speed up the footage.
And use his signature. There we go.
No. That's not how you say it. You say it like this. Game over!
And yeah, that's how it ends, like this, so impactful. We will learn in the future movies what eventually happened to both Adam and Dr. Gordon, because again, we haven't seen their face yet. But again, for a first movie, this is a quite impactful ending. So, I don't know, yeah, the no post-credit scene, of course, so, Libs, what do you think?
And so the movie ends with Lee Whannell screaming, "No, don't leave me in here, James, no!"
Your acting songs too much.
Jesus Christ. Okay, no, I don't want to watch Big Bang Theory. Fuck off.
Bazungas, Libs.
Anyway, yeah, the film's alright overall. I think it's perfectly solid. I think it's more so the story and the plot more than anything else. I think, okay, a minimalist film like this, where it's just a few sets, and that isn't a bad idea, especially with the budget that they have. Unfortunately, the big con of this movie is, aside from Tobin Bell and Michael
Emerson.
Fuck, I forgot. Michael Emerson. The acting is honestly really ropey from a lot of the leads, especially Lee Whannell, and surprisingly, from Cary Elwes.
I imagine you're not counting in Danny Glover because he doesn't really have too many lines to speak of.
No, I mean, he's not even in the movie that much.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the acting from a lot of the people is really hokey. Like, I know it was a cheap movie, but I've seen cheaper movies than this with better acting. The effects when we get to see them, that is, they're pretty solid for a low budget. But unfortunately, it's kind of let down by the editing. I mean, I get it. You know, you want to. It's your style, I know, but sometimes style doesn't equal good. You know what I mean? All those cheap cuts. That's clearly tried to hide the fact that they weren't even driving their cars, for example.
Yeah.
That's just. Oh, I mean, damn! I've seen better effects. I've seen better car chase effects from Bond films in the '60s, where it was just a guy on a really bad rear projection shot.
What about the score?
So the score's the most polished thing about the movie. I mean, to be fair, it's mostly minimalist stuff in the background, aside from the main theme we hear at the end. Mm-hmm. But hey, the main theme's iconic for a reason, so well done, Charlie Clouser. You're the most consistent guy in the movie.
Hooray.
That's really about it. I mean, I look forward to seeing what the other films have to offer, but this is clearly... Okay, I think it was meant to be the start of a film series, but it'll be interesting to see how it evolves, and I do hope that the effects get better, and that they actually drive their cars next time.
Thankfully they will, but technically the effects get better, but the moment they start introducing CGI into the mix, it's gonna be a bumpy ride, I can tell you already.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's channel products.
Yeah, but yeah, that's it for me. Solid overall, but with quite a few problems.
Pedro.
It's fine. The acting, I'm not too bothered by the acting personally. It's fun. I mean, when it comes to horror movies, I already expect ropey acting here and there. Like, for example, a lot of people find the whole "your mother sucks cocks in hell" thing from The Exorcist scary. I just find it hilarious. I don't find it scary at all. So,
like I said, these are not really movies to be scared of. If I have to be honest, sure, shocked by the potentially the gore effects, yes, but probably scared despite the fact that they were released on Halloween. Not really.
I guess
you can definitely tell this is not really comparable to something like, say, Nightmare on Elm Street or or Hellraiser.
Sure. That being said, yeah, it's fine. I think the like as a thriller, it works fine. Like the twists are fine. Like again, it's serviceable for the kind of movie it is, I guess. The music is good, like Dove said, yeah. And yeah, like the effects are good, like you said. Like I don't particularly have a problem with it. It's just that it's just not my kind of movie in general. But it's fine for what it is, I guess.
All right, I'll conclude. It's again solid enough, but you can definitely tell the age that this movie has. The things to appreciate are the commitment to the cross location. The fact that they had to operate with limited stuff, the practical effects. And to an extent the score. I don't think it was particularly memorable, but it does the job it's supposed to. And again, the twists and turns of the plot are what really make it for me. Unfortunately, again, the acting is just a bit all over the place. Lee Wanell, yeah, it's a lot of times too goofy, but sometimes Carrie Elvis just decides to dive bomb in and don't give a single shit. It's again very hilarious. Things like the subplot of Danny Glover's character, Dr. Detective Tapp, in order to track back who he thinks is Jigsaw, sometimes feels a bit pointless, to be honest. But sure, they contribute to the larger picture at the end to say, oh, this guy that we thought it was Jigsaw was also part of a big game, and the real Jigsaw was just the corpse in the first scene, which is used to great effect. But you can tell it could have been just trimmed away a bit, and it would have still worked out. You can definitely tell that this was conceptualized as a short first, which got expanded later. But it's still showcase a commitment to a small movie maker duo, in this case Lee Wanell and James Wan, wanting to build something big, and managing to make it. Again, James Wan has this particular crafting in making his movies, like also Insidious, for example, or even Aquaman. The fact that just decide to work with what he had and make it work out in the end. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, that was pretty much it. So next movie, which is gonna be Saw 2 eventually, we don't really know when we're gonna do it, is gonna tell us a bit more about the Jigsaw himself, and a bunch of next victims that will be subjected to one of his games, maybe more police officers, and we'll see how this connects instead to this first movie too. So see you for that.
See ya.